Okay, just a very quick one. Seems that the new setup's working. But basically, I updated my OBS software, and unfortunately, it broke the plugin which allowed me to multi-stream. So I've had to go through and reset that up. It seems to be working though. I'll check the sound and everything after I've finished doing this. Long and the short of it though is it seems to have worked. Right. Again, a slow day today. I'm being very lazy because we're just getting into the new year. But today I wanted to address one thing in particular, which was my NeoVim configuration, which is gradually growing. Excuse me. I mean, it's no big news really. It was just the way I originally got it set up. I've got a configuration set up, which is my standard Linux setup, and it's all in a Git repository, and you just run a script, and it basically sets everything up the way I like it, which I add to over time as I come across new tools or whatever. And one of the things I do in that script is I build NeoVim from source, and then of course run the configuration in order to initialize it. In the past, as part of the script to do the setup, after I'd built NeoVim before I configured it, I would install a load of language servers for the various languages I use, like Lua and Python and YAML, JSON, all these various language servers. Oh, and LaTeX. Which worked fine. However, there is a plugin for NeoVim called Mason, which I hadn't previously bothered to use. And what Mason does is it takes your language server configuration within NeoVim and then will loop over it and install the various language servers that you need for you within the user space, which is much better. Oh, hang on a minute. Have you finished? Come on. If you're coming up. No? Other way then. Yes, I know you've still got peanut butter on your tongue. Come on. Oh. Right. If you're going to be up here, you've got to settle down. No, dear. A menace, aren't you? Did you rush your peanut butter treat? Is that why you're here? Yes, yeah, back to where I was. Yeah, so Mason takes away the need for me to install those things. Anyway, yes, so that was today's job. It wasn't too painful. It's a fairly straightforward process, and really just required. Whereas before, when I was setting up the language server within NeoVim, I looped over a table with the configuration in it. I just added in an extra layer basically well, I just replaced the table with a slightly more complex structure. But what that allowed me to do then was to use Mason rather than a loop of my own devising. And Mason, as a bonus, actually does the install of the language servers as well. So I shall try all that out tomorrow on a fresh virtual machine and just make sure it all works the way it's supposed to. But at the moment, it hasn't broken my existing NeoVim. So as far as that's concerned, that's a win. Tomorrow, like I said, I will test the actual installation process, make sure it all works still. actually, what I ought to do is I ought to write a test suite for the scripts. Although I'm torn. It's an extremely simple, very linear script. It doesn't do anything very complicated. This is the setup script for my configuration. It's trivially simple and debatable whether it's worthwhile writing a test suite for it, simply because it's basically only one page of bash. So it's not exactly rocket science. The NeoVim configuration, on the other hand, that's a bit of a different kettle of fish. That's quite a complex series of Lua files. Not sure how I'd go about writing a test suite for that, to be honest. I'll have to think about that. Yes, I know. Right. Yeah, I'm not going to hang around. It's been a long afternoon, and the main reason for this update was A, 3 in a row, B, just to keep you up to date on what I'm doing, C, I will just to test this multi-streaming. Tomorrow I'll try and be a bit more prepared tomorrow, and I might walk through my current NeoVim setup and show. Well, I'll say yeah, tomorrow I'll get it set up so that I'll show you the way I set up my personal configuration and how that fits in with my overall approach to setting up development environments for various projects. And then we'll start doing configuration for SaltStack, ready for doing installation of this server. Right, okay, that's it. A very short one today. Like I said, it's more of a test than anything. Right, Menace,